Hey, welcome back to Jackknife TV, everyone. Today we're going to do something different. I'm going to call this the butterfly effect in trucking. This is what my opinion slash assumptions or outlook for this year in 2024 might be for trucking, and it's going to be rather chaotic. I'm going to call this this is going to be a year of probably chaos within trucking, the economy, the political chaos, it all around. And on top of that, not only is America going to deal with probably one of the largest, most controversial elections that we've had in, probably since the Civil War. That rings a bell. But besides that, we are also going to deal with about 40%, or no, not 40, no, I meant to say 40. We're going to deal with about 40 other countries this year having large elections around the world. So that's a big impact on maybe the world economy, along with other things that are influencing the economy here too. Let's see, we got the situation over there in the Red Sea where the ships have to come around, the Cape of, I forget what it is, but the Cape down there on south of Africa and everything. So that's going to probably affect eastern shipping, the ports. We got the Panama Canal situation with the low water table and whatnot going on there too. So there's a lot of, I don't know, what do you want to call it? A lot of interference, I guess, with the trucking slash freight industry right now. Anything can happen, anything can influence it, and it's going to be total chaotic. I wrote down a few things here, so I'm going to go over a few other things here this year. What's going on that in my opinion, might affect trucking, affect the economy, when pretty much we run on the coattails, or, well, it depends. Sometimes we run on the coattails of the economy. Sometimes we are the very front engine of the economy here. It just depends on what happens in scenarios and situations that that we get ourselves into as a country, I guess you could say. But that being said, so this year corporate debt is maturing, all right? And right now interest rates are really high on that corporate debt, and the ratio, what is it called? The debt, not the debt ceiling, but the corporate debt maturity rate. Most businesses, corporations, I should say, they calculate a ratio from debt to asset ratio, and a lot of corporations are seeing that ratio fall towards debt. All right, they pretty much, they don't have enough assets to cover their debt, really, if they ended up going belly up. So that's a big thing that involves investors. They get a little bit scared. You got a lot of problems with maybe them, actually maybe financing or getting more debt if they need it to run their business or for capital. So that's one big thing that's going to involve, the market, trucking, whether there's going to be large corporations expanding and needing us to ship their goods. Let's see, besides that, also the Wall Street Journal, or it might have been USA Today, I forget the article, which one I read, but they also came out and said that about 5.5% of warehousing space is vacant and not needed right now. So that's going to influence trucking too. Supposedly, the way it looks, we might turn back to a just-in-time freight kind of market, which would technically be favorable for us. And the reason I think they're doing that is to save cost. Just, they don't want us to pay for warehouse space. They're renting all this extra warehouse space now because they were all scared because of the pandemic and everything. And right now, they're taking a hit. They're taking a hit to their bottom line, these large corporations and stuff, and they're trying to find ways to save money besides not paying us. However way you want to see it. It could be brokers, could be that. But hey, it's just, we're the bottom of the totem pole, apparently, when it comes to that. But besides all that, let's see, for 2024, guys, there are about 20% of the corporations in the United States. This is about 20%. Actually, no, I wrote 22%. Actually, 22% of the corporations in the United States are looking to lay off about 30% of their workforce as of right now. That's what the plan is for this year. All right, and this is all from Forbes and everything like that. If that happens, the economy is already at a weakened state, at least in my opinion. You can read what you want from, White House memos and press releases and everything, but in my opinion, the reason we're not moving is because the freight isn't there and capacity is super high. So you can take that with you will. I sure hope that's not the general direction that we're going, because a lot of people are going to be out of work, and I don't see the economy strengthening until after the election, maybe. Also, fun little fact there, considering about the economy and the election. So in 2016, when Hillary Clinton was basically said to actually win the election before the election actually went through, how everyone was saying it was about an 80 to 90% chance that Hillary's going to win, and don't even bother voting for Trump. Well, the day that poll came out, the stock market dropped over 1,000 points. It swung. It dropped from 1,000 to almost 1,200 points just in that day alone. And then we all know what happens after the election, what happens with the stock market, and I don't have to go into great detail about that. But, if you have stocks or whatnot, and you're a betting man, which I have a few stocks and a Vanguard account and whatnot, I'm a slight betting man, and I have a feeling that as for right now, the way the election's going to go, I think I know who's going to be the Republican nominee, and I think who's probably going to win the election. But we won't know that until, I think the Republicans have it in July. I think they have it in July, and the Democrats have theirs in August. And with the Republicans, we can already know who's going to be be the nominee for the Republicans. That's practically called. For the Democrats, they could just use super delegates and just throw whoever they want in there. I don't know if there's probably going to be a power struggle, I would imagine, when that comes in August, but we shall see. All right. So like I said, this year I'm going to say is going to be more like the year of chaos, and probably hope for the best and plan for the worst. But at least in my opinion, I'm going to probably try to shift some of my investments that I do have, and my Vanguard account and everything. I'm going to probably put them to a little more risky levels, just due to the fact, at least right before the election, and hope and pray that after the election the S&P 500 shoots up and stocks shoot up, which, like I said, if most likely if Trump wins, that's going to be the outlook for most corporations. It's going to be a more favorable environment for corporations altogether. Oh, well, also here right now, unemployment right now is sitting at about 3.5%. So if that 22% of those companies decide to start laying off 30% of their workforce, I would imagine that number is going to jump significantly. And with that is also going to be consumer confidence, I imagine, is going to fall. And like I said, less people buying things, less people with, what do you want to call it, extra money or whatnot. They're not out there building houses. They're not out there buying new TVs. They're not out there eating lavish dinners and buying a bunch of steak and, cooking it for 4th of July and everything. That's going to be hurting on us. So my opinion right now is pretty much, if you have the money right now and you can afford to take a slight gamble, buy that equipment. Buy that equipment and hold it. If you can hold it somewhere, you don't have to pay a lot of rent or storage fees or whatnot. Buy the equipment, hold it, and wait. Maybe if you want, you could dabble. The problem is, if you get your insurance on the equipment and everything and register it, you're going to start spending money on that for insurance and everything else. And if the market, or you don't have the hookup some direct customers or direct freight, it's just going to be sitting there costing you money. So my opinion, like I said, if you have the money, and I mean have the money, I would not take huge loans out. I would not refinance your house even though trucks are super cheap right now and equipment's really cheap. You can find dry vans for under $10,000 again, and decent shape, like real nice ones, probably only maybe 10, 15 years old. You can find reefers again that are in decent shape for about, I'll say 15 and up, 20, if you really look, with about 18 to 20,000 hours on them. So, like I said, I would just buy and hold, store it, and wait until maybe after the election, then start, seeing where things are going. If the S&P goes up, if the stock market starts going up, I'd imagine there's going to be a lot more consumer confidence then. There's going to be a lot more, probably, corporate confidence, if you want to call it that. And, we might return, like I said, back to that just-in-time mentality in the freight market. And it might be a very good year to climb the ladder, I guess you could say. Just ride the wave of the economy. And if that's true, that'd be great. As of right now, am I in that situation to do that? No, I would have to take on debt, and I'm not going to do it. It sucks. I'm going to probably miss this wave, but it is what it is. But right now, I would say if you actually have cash laying around and you're actually committed to becoming a larger company, getting your authority and whatnot, and actually going out and making these connections with shippers and receivers, and whatnot, actual dedicated freight, I would say right now is the time to buy the equipment, hold on to it, and just before the election, maybe start putting your fingers out there and combing through a couple directories, find yourself a dedicated customer, and hopefully you can ride the wave out of this slump that we're in right now. So that's my opinion on what 2024 is going to be. Do I think 2025 is going to be totally awesome? Well, that all depends on the election. But even if our hopeful, wins, I don't think 25 is going to be super stellar. It's just going to be better. It's going to be better. Like I said, you're going to be riding a slow wave. It's just going to be like, I would say, when 2016, when Trump was elected. It's not going to be like the very next day or a couple weeks from now. It's going to take a little bit for that to get rolling. So that's my butterfly effect, I guess you could say, of the trucking industry and the economy. So if you enjoy this content and you like me trying to put some kind of educational or at least my opinion or my views of the market and whatnot are coming out here, just go down and hammer down on that like button and smash subscribe, and I'll try to keep this content coming out to you. So Jackknife out.